some reason. So you just cause trouble.
I have to ignore chat.
Ugh.
Oh, welcome to Keep It Casty. We're not in a content garage, but we're in a room. We're talking about our week's sponsored. We've become the sponsor of Cialis. Gabe,
Keep it stiffy.
Gabe, what have you been doing this week?
Selling boner pills to strangers.
Oh, fantastic!
It's really like it's such an unappreciated field, because all I want is for people to have long-lasting erections. And I ask you, who doesn't want that? Men want that. The people who sleep with men want that. Whether you're gay, you're straight, you want long-lasting erections.
100% of the time.
Yes, that's the. You see, I know you don't get to decide how the gods bless you, Aaron. All right, like there's rules. If you want the kind of erections that I'm providing for a very reasonable price, you have to accept that these are going to be borderline round the clock. They do tend to diminish slightly during REM sleep. I've noticed from my, experimentation on my housemates. But
do they know of this experimentation?
Well, no, that's why they call it a blind test, Aaron.
I see.
The people involved.
How do you administer it? What's your method of?
Just put it in their food.
I'd go with chloroform.
At least one of my housemates, I can just hand him a pill and say, "Hey, take this." That's the benefit of living in share houses in Brisbane. You can just go, "Wait, take this." Like, yeah, all right. I've got a boner. Yeah. Can you describe the rigidity? Turgidity. So for somehow, I don't, what was it again? Someone molested our Google responses somehow.
A while
I've never had to Google my own website.
A while ago, someone brought it to my attention that apparently our site was redirecting from Google search, not the website if you put in straight to it, just from search. And I looked into it. I ran some scans and stuff. Everything seemed fine. I reported it to our ISP. They said everything was fine. It's something on Google's end that is search-related issue. Then they'll fix it. It's like, okay, cool. Didn't think of anything about it. Popped up again recently. A few more people have said it, so I looked into it. It turned out it was a thing called a conditional pharma hack, I believe. It's called pharma as in PH as in pharmaceutical. Where they basically just dump a little redirect somewhere in your website.
Right.
And so just redirect people from search engines. It's pretty much harmless. It's not malicious. It's just for redirection. Yeah. So after some searching, I found some scans. 20% of websites said our site was fine, completely free. Oh, sorry, no. 80% said they were fine. The other 20% said, no, you got a problem here. And I'm like, oh, okay. So I looked further and eventually found the reason, found the code and got rid of it.
Huzzah.
So that should all be fine and working now.
You can now safely, because my mum actually said, hey, honey, your thing is like a fucking erection pill from space. And I just assumed she'd put this thing in wrong.
I kind of want some money now from erection pills.
Yeah. I'll sell erection pills. I've done stupider jobs. Look, Cialis, it's for dicks. And probably nipples, if that's your fucking thing. Do you need fucking erect nipples? Does anyone have difficulty with flaccid nipples? I have two very alert
nipples being touched.
Well, I'm just null on the whole nipple thing. Again, women are a boppet of shit that does stuff. I'm just I have a penis bit and that's it. I'm not saying I'm not saying it's gross, but by the same time, it does nothing. It's not there's a bit that does something. It's like mashing buttons on a controller that's not connected to anything.
So yeah, that's happened.
Now you can safely Google our site. Just bookmark it next time.
It's keepitclassy.com. Can you really not? And do you need to Google that?
We misspelled ET.
It's not.
It's someone else had Keep It Classy already.
Yeah.
What was that? What is keepitclassy.com?
I kind of don't want to go to it. Someone go to it and tell us what happens.
Is it buttholes?
Probably.
It's
always bumholes.
What's fucking...
Speaking of...
Hey, what all this is? It's just buttholes.
Speaking of bumholes, some Australia-specific gaming news for all y'all Australian gamers out there. Australia started banning stuff again.
It's a Tuesday.
So the crazy thing is, Gabe, these games have already been here for quite a long time. DayZ got banned, and that's been here
for ages.
For years.
Yeah. No, like
Hotline
what was
Miami.
it specifically? Because there are two bugbears that every country has.
It's always
weird
drugs
shit.
and sex in
Yeah.
Australia.
Well, yeah, no. With Australia, it's sexual violence in video games and anything positive drug depictions.
So there was a few that got axed. We Happy Few got retaken from classification. Kingdom
Positive
Come.
drug use.
Now the funny thing.
Which one's
the
which?
funny-
Is We
the
Happy
funny
Few
thing-
raping?
The funny thing about We Happy Few is it's for DLC, and it's literally all the same tones as the first one. Of course, your first one you submitted was knocked back. Why would the second one be fucking approved? It's exactly the same case. Like, why not make those first adjustments like you did the first time and get it through instead of like
I mean, again, it's on like. Because I went through this back when anime was first getting released in Australia, and you just had no idea what you were going to get when you picked up the fucking box. Because they're, again, like, you know, Crying Freeman, Ninja Scroll, these were all rated M15.
Yeah.
And there are people getting, there's brutal violence in both of those, and about as much sex as you can have before it starts turning into, you know, without showing actual penetration. And I'm pretty sure Otsuka Doji 3 had actual penetration in it because it was a tail dick, which I don't think counts. And then meanwhile, they had Kaseki fucking videos like Kasan the Robot Hunter that was rated R and had like a bit of a nipple you could see at one point. Like, it's the fundamental fact is it's just batshit and no one's really doing their fucking job.
pretty much.
But I mean, it's, you know, it's again, everywhere in the world has a weird fucking thing. Like you can have tits in a kids show in like fucking South America, but you know, you can't do too much in terms of fucking violence. Germany is the same with violence. America's weird about fucking sex. You know, you can watch a bunch of fucking footballers knock concussion syndrome into each other, but if you fucking see a bit of a titty, it's like, ooh, how am I going to explain a bit of a titty to my kids? I've raised them in some fucking dense Baptist fundamentalism.
It was such a hot issue back in the day. Before we had an R rating in Australia.
It's that thing losers
back when I worked
about.
in games retail, the way we used to swing it back then, and I used to sell it, especially to parents, was I told them an R rating was a good thing. And they'd be like, excuse me, why? We're going to have more violent videos. And I'm like, it's giving you a rating. And I said, more games are going to be classified as R. Yeah. So more games are going to give you a rating to actually reflect the game's content more. So you as a parent are going to be more informed of your choice.
Yeah, that's the whole fucking... Yeah.
I never thought of it like that. And I'm
no,
like...
because you didn't think you boomer tard.
Exactly right. And
I mean, that's the hard thing, because you just want to shake them and go, no, because you didn't think. But, like, you can't. Like,
no,
it's like dealing with kids. You can't just shake them and go, it's because you're a fucking moron.
And it's the whole awful thing of you've got no choice.
You just have to.
As an adult, I would like to experience the content. I can't, and it's just like, but why? You know, and especially implied rape is the hugest one. Applied rape and assault in Australia.
Killer 7 had an actual rape in it.
Huge one, yeah. Exactly, an actual rape gets through. But
I was playing that at my grandmother's.
I think
it's like, oh, great, cripple rape. Ah, fucking.
Maybe the board of directors or whatever for
no one cares
review.
if it's a crippled dude.
They got raped by Dennis from It's Always Sunny. It's implied, Gabriel.
Yeah, you know. It's
so yeah. It's
what do you think is going to happen? Like, honestly, it's just so fast. Like, I love hearing the reasoning behind it.
There's no reasoning. They can't. I can't. So speaking of violence, we're going to move on to our next topic.
I was going to say, do the thing that we always do in Australia. Steal it. Fucking steal it.
So we got Mortal Kombat 11 dropped their new combat pack trailer. If you're watching on stream right now, you get the trailers there. You can see it.
Oh, look, it pops up in the fucking window, in the box.
It's always in the box, Gabe.
I didn't know that.
So that was cool. I
do like NetherRealm games for the ethnicities looking like actual ethnicities and not like weird anime white guys that are supposed to be from Japan. All right, I don't care about Sindel.
They've done really well with their character models this time. So we've got Sindel launching on November 26th.
Spawn, because it's the 90s forever.
Launching on March 17th, which is a bit sad.
This is just the wrongest looking Joker.
The wrongest Joker I've
He's so
ever seen. He's going to rape you, dude. Like, he's going to touch you.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I am excited to play the T800.
The Terminator is coming October 8th, and that is probably the best edition in my opinion. It looks like Arnold. It is fantastic.
Isn't Spawn not coming until like 2042?
March 17th of next year, which is
Just when I was thinking Capcom had topped fucking
It's just
dumb
a
shit behavior.
Baffling decision, dude. Like it's so drawn out. I
What
feel
day
that
is
there's,
it today? It's like
we're in
fucking the
August.
23rd of August.
So it's
It's a while away from fucking the end of the year.
Yeah.
It's like nearly 6 fucking months.
like it's
August, September, October, November, December, January, February, March. That's 7 fucking months. That's nuts.
that is very nuts. Yeah, considering that this is Combat Pack 1, and there's always going to be so
like,
far
you'd expect
there
to be
they
a
have done
second-
2 combat packs every game so
It
far.
just looks like a Joker cosplayer that tries to molest everybody. It's like, I've seen a million of these.
He looks like he's ate exactly 13 donuts before getting into costume.
Yeah, see, that's the thing about Joker is he's always very like I'm kind of picky about Joker body types because I think one of the Batmans of the futures or whatever had like a really buff Joker, and that just annoyed the shit out of me because he's not meant to be muscular, muscly. He's got the strength of a psychopath.
It was played by what's his face?
Diedrich Bader,
No, there's another one who did in the animated series.
Deepak Chopra.
No, Bender, played by Bender.
Oh yeah,
Forgot his name.
Look at him.
Dude, it's such a poor choice. And like, I want to know whose decision was this? Like, was it DC,
Hey,
NetherRealms? Like,
That makes Jared Leto look a lot better. That's what people are going to be like begging for the Jared Leto skin for that.
I mean, at least he's skinny. And he's got like, I don't know, man.
Bad head shape. I mean, everyone else just looks fine.
I'm like if it, the sad thing is, if it looked good, I think people would be very excited for it.
I just really hope it's not. I mean, I suppose maybe like changing the appearance is a way of signaling that it's not just a port of like the model from
It
and the
will be.
character.
It fucking will
I'm
be.
kind of in two minds about
It
it.
will either be a
I feel like
port.
Spawn was always in Mortal Kombat and we just didn't notice.
He was in Soul Calibur.
Oh yeah, on the Xbox.
Yeah.
That's right. I forgot about that.
He'll be two ways, I reckon. He'll either be as he is in Injustice 2 or a mixture of the Injustice 2 and 1 playstyles.
Oh yeah,
Because
Well,
they're
one
both
will be-
different.
Yeah, one will be there'll be different traits.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, look, I'm looking forward to playing as I think Terminator and Mortal Kombat's a lot of fun for me.
Terminator is the best part by far. Absolutely. I'm also pretty happy Nightwolf came because Nightwolf was always a favorite of mine.
Like, the thing is, though, Nightwolf has two fatalities. One of them is generic as shit, and the other one he summons a fucking ghost bear to rip you in half.
That's pretty rad.
And the frustrating thing is, he has two ghosts. He has a ghost bear and a ghost wolf. Guess what the ghost wolf does?
Nothing.
Not a fatality. They just gave him one where he cut the fucking heart in half. And it's like, why not have... he's got two fucking ghost things, have two ghost thing fatalities. Have one where he mauls a shit out of him with a fucking ghost dog. Because that scratches the animality itch. Because you can't just put animalities back in the game because they're fucking stupid. But like,
I think you possibly can. I want
Lord,
them back.
no.
I bring all the atalities back.
All the alities.
Bring the babe-alities.
no, fuck that, man. If you want alities, go get the Mortal Kombat project on Mugen. Those are genuinely fun. I play those a lot.
You know, they can have developer crunchalities. So,
Ed Boon eyebrow alities.
like,
Those are some ferocious eyebrows.
dude,
Oh,
those
fucking-
eyebrows scare me. All right, go. You know what his eyebrows remind me of? Sully from Monsters, Inc. Yeah, he's just big, fuzzy, and just, yeah.
They are fuzzy. I think if you can steal one of those eyebrow hairs, you get a wish. That's 100% true. Do that. If you can catch him at a con or something.
Sadly, the wish always ends up fulfilling just being Scorpion being in another game. That's the trick of the Boon. He lures you in
Ed
with
Boon
false
must be so
promises.
fucking... I bet Ed Boon was shaking like Arnold's hand and calling him Mr. T-800.
Oh, dude. I love Mr. T-800. He's actually, no, yes.
The thing that's getting me annoyed is they almost have enough fucking characters for an amazing movie fighter. You know, they got Leatherface, they got Alien, they got Predator, they
Look,
got
dude,
the T-800.
all I'm saying
Just do it. I know you want to.
is NetherRealms, like Mortal Kombat 11 is the best video selling fighting game of all time. It made bank.
Fuck, it's weird. You just don't think about that.
They can just walk around with that now. Because Boone was in talk. Remember, Boone had talks with Marvel previously.
Yeah.
He's just side discussions. But now look at he can just throw those stats down and just go Injustice,
yeah.
boom. Mortal Kombat, boom. Look at that. And I think that's might be good.
Come on, like you wouldn't fucking kill for some kind of horror movie goddamn fighting game. Like,
I mean, not for me. I'm not really into horror, so but I know you would, so that would be great for you.
well, I mean,
love
not
it.
just horror, but you know, the T800. I mean, I suppose OG Terminator is probably closer to a horror than any of the sequels. I mean, it was quite because that was a hardcore fucking film when it first came out. Like,
dude, the no eyebrows and just naked, just chasing you.
yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, like where he performs his own eye surgery, and it's not like light. It's not fun in any way. There's no like, oh, there's a brief moment of comic relief. Like they fuck in a motel room at one point, and that's about it. Like that's as cheery as that movie fucking gets. Otherwise, it's just fucking a demented Austrian murdering white women.
I can. Now I'm thinking on expanding on a movie fighter. I would actually like to see that. I'd like to see James Bond in there. Like,
I didn't even think about that.
Like James Bond would be good. You know, you could, stuff like that.
James Bond. What else? Fucking
The Warriors.
Yeah. So okay, who have we already got? We've got the T800. We've got Jason. We've got Freddy. We've got Leatherface, Alien, Predator. I mean, there's probably someone else I'm forgetting, but I mean that's a hot 6 already. That's solid. You know, you add James Bond. That's 7. You know, I mean, you throw in maybe a fucking Dracula. You know, you just chuck in some of the classic Universals. Indiana Jones. It's got a whip. Whips are hot now. Whips. Everyone likes the whip characters.
What else is there? I'm just thinking like Rocky. Rocky could be in there.
Yeah. Fuck it. Yeah, he can. Like Rambo.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, there you go.
And you'd have to have the T1000. Like you would. You know, like as nice as it is seeing fucking, Arnold fucking suiting up again. You know, where's my Robert Patrick love? God damn it. Because that fucking Terminator 2 is like an epical movie in my brain. It's so important to me.
It is. It's a very good movie. Very good movie.
And Robert Patrick was fucking great in that. I don't think people appreciate the effort it is to play weird murder
I don't think people appreciate the effort it takes to be Robert Patrick.
It's a lot of head to feed. He has a very long head.
God damn it. I'm thinking of long heads.
Yeah, it's fine. Just don't fight it. Don't resist.
I'd love I know it'd be licensing issues, but if you're having movie fighters, I would like Darth Vader in there. He needs to be there.
I mean, yeah, I'd like to see him too, just because, I'd like to see just Darth Vader force rip somebody in half.
Yeah.
I mean, really, it's going to wind up looking like fucking Noob Saibot fucking fatalities. Speaking of Noob Saibot, like the fucking NBA Jam, the book Twitter account that I follow posted a thing today of Boone and the other guy who made fucking Mortal Kombat, like John Tobias.
Yeah.
Where's he these days? Because you only ever hear it's Boone now. I don't know where Tobias has gone.
I think he retired early.
I think Boone ate Tobias. Let's figure this out. Let's do some research. Aaron, internet me up a fucking piece of... Yeah, John Tobias. What's he gotten up to? Who is Tobias Boone? Fantastic.
Okay, he's an American comic book artist, graphic designer, video game designer, and writer.
All right.
He is still active. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, apparently he's active, but there's not really
in Zynga.
anything. They made Teo Fang. He went in to make Teo Fang Fist of the Lotus. I actually played that. That was on the original Xbox.
Huh.
It was cool because it had point breaks. Like if you pounded on someone enough, their arm would break and stuff. It was cool.
I'm gonna look that game up.
WrestleMania. Okay, they ceased operation in 2005. He worked as a consultant in the games industry until 2012 when he joined social game studio Zynga.
Yeah, he's on Zynga. That's like the most we know.
That's all we know.
Weird.
That's weird. I bet he just makes a steady bank. I bet Ed Boone's eyebrows touched him.
I think he's on Twitter. Check that out. I want to see if we can fucking solve more of this mystery. All right. Do you think they had a fight? Do you think Boone and fucking Tobias had some kind of like?
Oh, you see, Boone tried to steal Tobias's wallet, but Tobias was wearing his lucky wallet chain, so unfortunately he couldn't take it. But the friendship was never the same.
Like, because I swear that happened to the writers of fucking like Grant Naylor, the writers of Red Dwarf.
I have no clue. But yeah.
Wikipedia needs more elements on like fucking, personal squabbles.
100%.
Like, I need to know more. I need to know about the personal drama, goddammit.
Like, I want to
wanna just know that
know
he
why
works for
John
Zynga
Tobias
now.
isn't around. Because literally the last thing here says, despite being one of the original creators of the MK series, Tobias is not mentioned in commentary or descriptions in the making
Yeah, like
of
that's
documentaries for Dead Alliance.
because that's the thing. He just disappeared.
But he was one of the 4 people who made the original Mortal
He's
Kombat.
the Cybot in Noob Cybot.
Exactly.
And then it's like they don't just call him Noob. Like he's still Noob Cybot. Like it's not. Why do they hate each other?
Yeah, that's what I'm Googling. John Tobias, Ed Boon, feud.
Right, feud. Yeah.
Feud's a good word.
All right, there we go. Someone asked on Reddit. Come on, Reddit, give me some unsubstantiated claims.
Apparently they're just left by their own. Like, they just grew apart, like, creatively. That's just... Damn it, I want juicy gossip.
Yeah, I still call bullshit. Otherwise, he'd be mentioned. If we just grew apart as people, I'd still talk to you on Twitter occasionally. Like,
Well, we had dinner with him on April 30th this year.
Huh.
Hmm.
Maybe it was just Tobias's. Maybe Tobias became like born again or something. It was just like, I don't want to be mentioned with like the fucking violence anymore. Please don't bring me up.
Yeah.
And I don't fucking know.
Maybe.
I think it's just going to be a fucking irresolvable fucking mystery. Ooh, what's that? That looks juicy.
So,
Drag that over into the looking window.
this came up today.
Oh, look at that. Fucking steady on there, champ. What's going on?
The news. Victoria Police announced on Friday afternoon that 6 Australians have been arrested in connection with an investigation into rigging Counter-Strike global offense matches.
Oh, this is great. I love it when video game people realize that sometimes the world and laws apply to
This
them.
is the first major case of its kind in Australia. An investigation began in March this year after a betting agency tipped off police around suspicious activity around a CSGO tournament. It's alleged that players were arranging to throw matches and subsequently placing bets on those matches. Victoria Police said in a release, at least 5 matches were affected by the activity, with warrants served and 4 men arrested on Wednesday. Another warrant was executed by Western Australia Police in Perth, but no arrests were made there.
Imagine being in jail because you rigged a Counter-Strike match. You stupid buttholes.
Like, the thing is, like,
Can they arrest Smash players for not showering yet?
they absolutely can. It's coming. It's a law.
Just hose them down. I mean, as it is, like there was some fucking rigging thing with Smash. There's always top quality embarrassing drama with the Smash community.
Lordy. It's just it's human nature to
Because
try
some guy
to,
was like molesting a 60. Well, I thought he was
Wait, what?
molesting. Yeah, no. Well, there was a guy who was like 26, and they said he was molesting some kid, but then it was like the kid was 16, which in like Queensland is like legal. And in fact, there was a whole argument to make 16-year-old the age of consent for gay sex, because it used to be 16 for straight sex and then 18 for gay sex, which is weird. It's like, yeah, you can like vagina, you can just make a decision straight away, but like dick, you got to fucking, it's got to
Steady
like,
on.
yeah, you need an extra 2
Careful.
years to really
Gotta think
ruminate on
about
that
that, yeah.
dick.
Fuck
But then
me.
it turned like, and everyone was like down on that guy. They're like, boo you. And so he quit. And then it turned out like the kid that he was like, I don't know, giving wristies to, had like got him to throw matches and was like fucking abusing him psychologically or some shit. And then everyone was like, well, boo fucking that guy. And it's just like, it's just constant with Smash Brothers. Like, I don't even care about the game, but I wish there was like a fucking commentary team for just the drama around it. It's just quality.
All right, so you want to know something juicy? I'll give you something juicy.
Oh, fuck yeah.
So this is an illegal matter. I think it was last year that happened. Came out. There was a bunch of people arrested in the US for like a childlike porn thing. Like they were, I don't know if they were having a party with younger people there, or they were just they were viewing material.
Like,
I can't remember anyway.
yeah.
But the whole thing was one of the dudes turned out to be like a community manager at like High Res Games who like has like
Oof.
yeah. And I met this person. I knew them.
Ooh.
I met them.
You wouldn't like, yeah, like
And that's the
it's
crazy
like,
thing. I didn't know. Like,
Well,
I
why
just,
would you? That's no one like that's the fucking thing is guys look like Dennis Ferguson. Bring up a picture of Dennis Ferguson because you need to see this guy if you don't know who he is. Because literally he is what should show up every time you Google child molester. Yeah. No, like go up again. Yeah, just that. Yeah, to right one more. Yeah, that one. Like that is like just child molester. Like, but the problem is, not all child molesters are polite enough to look like Dennis Ferguson. Some of them just look like cunts. And that's the thing is you get used to someone, you see that, you're like, oh yeah, there's a kitty fiddler. And you get it in your head. It's like, that's what a fucking kitty fiddler looks like. But then there are just normal looking cunts who don't look like clearly child rapists getting about. And they go under the fucking child rapist radar because of faces like that.
Yeah, so
You know? Because it's not like everyone's supposed to go, imagine it's like, ooh, you fuck kids? Like imagine doing that if you meet people.
It kind of came out really big because he was a big part of the WoW community for a long time, and like all of us were just kind of like, whoa,
Yeah, no,
like,
that's,
we were all just shocked. Like we knew this guy, like we talked to this person, and stuff like, and I was just like, that it's just so crazy. And like the thing is, his Twitter literally is exactly the same as it was. Nothing has been posted on since he went to jail and since like.
Are you allowed to have Twitter in
I
jail?
don't know. Like, I don't know. Like if he was,
Don't get me wrong, I'd follow Twitter. I'd follow jail Twitter. There should just be like each jail should have an account, and like prisoners should be able to post like I don't know, maybe a tweet they can fight over who gets to have a go.
Yeah, I'm not going to say the name, but Nez just has said in the chat. Yeah, he was only 21 years old too.
Wow, you've only been legally a pedophile for like 3 years. Kind of 60. I mean, I suppose you'd have to be able to get in trouble for it, but I mean, if you're not an adult either, like who gets yelled at if like a 15-year-old fucks a 13-year-old?
I don't know, man.
Well, there's got to be some fucking rule. Because I mean, what if you just happened to cross that? I mean, I've lived in the outer suburbs. I mean, I'm sure half of those kids are getting molested. I mean, I worked with a security guard who was like, "Oh yeah, at the age of 13, I went out looking for a wristy." And it's like,
I guess it comes down to
and you got it off of some drunk 14-year-old.
intent and personal and how the.
I figure there's got to be some like rules. Like,
I think a lot will be case by case basis, and they involve a lot of psychologists and therapists.
I'm just glad I don't really have to, fucking
work
think about
through
it.
it.
Deal
It
with
would
this
be
shit.
it would be an awful situation for every single party
It's kind of
involved.
why I'd love it for, like, not because I like the idea of children suffering, but I'd love it to turn out that John Cena was a child molester or something.
Oh
Because,
man,
like,
The Rock. The Rock would destroy the world. The world would.
The
tip.
Rock, yeah, The Rock
Riots in the
molesting people would be
streets.
very depressing, but like, no, specifically John Cena, because literally the whole WWE has been built around him for like a decade. So like when Chris Benoit snapped and murdered his wife and kids, they fucking struck him from the record.
Yeah.
Like, and he won, championships at WrestleMania. Like, he's part of the championship lineage and part of the WrestleMania lineage and shit like that. So it's a hard thing to fucking edit around that guy, Like, there's big shit. It's not like,
Oh, this match never happened.
yeah, it's not like, what? Yeah, it's not like, oh yeah, by the way, fucking Kazani was a child killer. Everyone's response would be, who? And yeah, you can just delete, I think, the one televised match Kazani had on WWE and no one would fucking care. But this would be John Cena. So they'd have to like wipe him. And like, I don't even know if that's possible. You just have to have a fucking disclaimer before every one of his matches. Like,
The man you're about to see is not affiliated with the WWE.
Eventually we did see him.
molesting kids. That's why he got away for it so long, dude.
Yeah.
He was doing it out in front of everyone. You can't see me doing a wristy under. It's even the fucking wrist motion.
One of his moves is called the 5-knuckle shuffle.
Oh, dude.
Well, that was because like his whole thing when he started was he was like really puerile. So his finisher was the FU and there was the 5-knuckle shuffle.
Sure.
And then that shit started to look sad once he started getting older. And then he became military for some stupid reason. Like not really, but like I think he was in a movie about fucking being a
I had
Marine.
a friend in high school who was really into wrestling.
Everyone did. That's a rule. You're not allowed. It's forbidden. You gotta, I mean, I was I grew up when I was like, the Attitude Era for me was like 15 to 17. That's a prime wrestling age.
Yeah.
And I never grew out of it and never will. So what's happening now with those 6 guys arrested? Because I mean, it must. Because honestly, yeah, you wouldn't check. You wouldn't even think about it. I wonder how
now investigations get pursued.
Yeah.
It's like, how long have they been doing this? How many times have they done this? Because the thing is, video games is such a new industry for sports and money.
The law always
Because
takes ages to catch
literally, you could go to TAB right now and go, here's our contract for video games. This is our esports contract. They'll go, okay. And then they'll go, all right, here's the match. Then they go, okay, you televise them. And they don't know what, they'll say, okay. Yeah. They'll just nod because they don't know what it is. They don't know if they're playing if they're throwing. They don't know if they're playing good. They don't know if they're playing bad.
how'd they catch him is what I'm curious about. I mean, because how, like,
well,
can
it
you
says
prove...
here that they were tipped off by
That's interesting.
by a betting agency. So I assume the betting agency was getting
odd numbers. They would have seen a pattern in the numbers. If
patterns,
people have been throwing, statistically, there's always patterns.
Because, I think about me playing fighting games, and sometimes I look like I'm really, really, really fucking good at them, and other times I just look like fucking comically retarded. And I can't help but think someone's going to look at that and go, oh, look, Gabe's fucking
And that's what I mean.
again.
That's why it's so hard to just look on it at face value and say, ugh.
Gabe's throwing. No, I was spamming pile driver in the middle of a block string. I don't know.
That's why I
just
kind
do it
of
sometimes.
really took sort of offense to the betting agencies jumping on esports really early. Like before even like there was money in
Betting
esports, there
agencies,
was
man.
betting. Like I saw like I've been doing Evo bets for years now. Like you can bet on Evo in Australia. Think about that.
Yeah, that's nuts.
Like you can just go onto their website and go, I want to bet on Evo.
I don't. Yeah, well, I'm not a bettor. I think it's a
No,
fucking
me
stupid
neither.
behavior.
It's like you lose your money. You literally go, it's a game of chance. Boom, it's gone. Oh, okay. Well, that sucked.
Because I mean, who are you gonna fucking bet on in the goddamn Netherrealms? Like,
Sonic Fox.
yeah, like what? And what are the odds for him gonna be? Like, bet $1, win $1.
Yeah.
bet $1, win 90 cents, huh?
Yeah, so it's like,
Because he won again. Foxy
win-
Grandpa got close. Or was it? No, yeah, he did win. He
the
did.
thing is, the more Fox wins and the more he plays, the more consistently he's going to get. I think the only time you're going to see him start really downfalling is if he puts more time into other games. If he starts multi-splitting.
Wasn't he playing Street Fighter for a little while?
He was doing heaps of multi stuff for a while. And he does it for a while when he gets bored, but I think that's the only time you're really going to see
fuck it,
him.
man. If I wouldn't, if I'd been earning the money that he's been earning off of this bullshit, I mean,
Yeah, but he's so young, dude. He can just afford to. He can just afford to just go, I'm going to play 5 games and have a second place season instead of a first place. Like that's the difference to him.
fuck, I wish I was good at something.
I know, right? He's like, he's insane. And if he was born in any other time, like previous to this, he'd be fucked.
Oh, no. If he was born literally like maybe, 10 or 15 years earlier, like he'd be a bitter, fucking 30-year-old fur fag who is probably still really good at games, but too socially maladjusted to play them near other humans. Like,
It was perfect time for him to come up. It just happened.
fuck, man. Like,
Like I'm
modern world's a nutty old venue.
glad
fucking-
for him. He's done really well. Like it's insane.
Oh, it's nice. It's just, it's like every school I went to had a year or two after I left, had a huge influx of money and they built all these new fucking facilities and all this really cool shit. And then when I was, studying education, and it's like, oh yeah, around 2005, they started fixing shit up. And it's just like, a little late for me. It's good to know I managed to body surf the last wave of shit. Just fucking marvelous.
It is, yeah. It is a bit like that. It's kind of like how Tesla's pushing into solar power for houses now, which is really cool. But in Australia, the solar industry is kind of fucked.
Yeah, it's funny.
Because the government are idiots. There was a boon when there was a time when solar was huge in Australia and the government was just handing out cash for solar companies left and right. New startups and things, get the solar out. Then we put too much solar out. People aren't buying electricity anymore.
Off of the
they're
fucking-
spending more. They're making more than we can give them. What do? Let's start charging them and making
propping up
electricity.
our
Excuse
coal
me?
industry.
So you're now charging people from taking energy from the sun and putting it into your grid. Yes. What? So I don't know how, like, my fear is, like, how's Elon doing this? Because it's available in Australia. You can sign up. It's $100 to sign up, just to sign up.
I think having a battery backpack might change it because you're
is
storing it for
he-
yourself.
Is he going, like, I don't know, man. Like, is he going to put those taxes and bills up front for the people? Like, it's going to be hard to see. I really like solar. I wish I had my own house, then I could have solar. Solar everything. Or get like a really big hamster and a wheel.
Just got to genetically engineer monster hamsters. It's fucking easy. I've developed a weird collection of video game controllers, retro controllers lately. And it kind of happened by accident.
work these days.
Aaron, what are you doing? Why are you clicking on autoplay
Dude,
videos?
it's not. It's just playing.
Close the fucking.
It's just playing. It doesn't matter. That's not recording anyway.
Yeah, but I don't want to hear some dude talking about medical marijuana.
I do.
Like, so I've got like it
Dennis Ferguson will
started. Don't put up the wall of Ferguson. All right, it's bumming me out.
Dude, what if
just the whole-
what if I Photoshop some Batman cows onto him? Will that help?
Like, that's because, I mean, someone's image might have done it. I don't know. Maybe one of the fucking indies or some shit. But I mean, has there been a super pedophile? Because there was Bueno Excelente. But I mean, like, I think the worst thing he did was molest one of the Green Arrows. And we're not really sure what kind of molestation either. Like, was it full on fucking penetrative rape or was it just rubbing? Because it might have just been rubbing. But I, like, you know, there has to have been one. Like, there has to have been one. And like, I mean, is it one of those weird things where his power is like weirdly useful for that exact fucking thing? Like, you know how people have like just, you know, because they're comics, they have a thematic connection between like who they are as people and their fucking ability. Like, you know, has it been like, I'm the Pied Piper, I can make children just do what I say. And it's like, yeah, like a guy whose telepathy only works on like people under the age of 16.
Yeah.
And it's like, what do you do? Well, I molest them. Because, like,
fair
I think,
enough. Why
like,
wouldn't
Dr.
you?
Light raped Sue Dibney, but he's not really a super rapist. He was just a super villain that raped once. And
Not a super rapist.
I know, and like, look, I'm aware that is, you know, it's not a pleasant fucking thing. That you know, I'm not saying stick it in like All Star Superman. Like,
I'm all for it.
Someone taught Bizarro rape, and now here we are. Yeah, like, well, again, what do you do in that situation?
You can't
know?
do nothing.
Well, it's like
You get
someone
raped.
saw me do it, but I once Googled like X-Men with Down syndrome because I was kind of curious if anyone's done that.
Saw me do it.
Yeah.
What, were you in public? Was it
Yeah,
on
no,
your
I was on
phone?
the bus. Like, I was just on the bus. I wanted to know, like, because again, that's, you know, because there
Fair.
was,
I'm kind of curious now.
yeah, well, there was a fucking, he wasn't on my street. He was like down the way, but he was like, God, I don't know. The more I think about this, the more depressing it fucking gets. But he was like one of those he was one of those fairly neglected, retarded kids. And he would just start jacking off just about. Like, he'd just do that. And it was like one of those things where you just sort of, you know, because I remember seeing it when I was like fucking 6 and some shit. And again, stuff's still like, you know, stuff's still setting then. Yeah. So, like, just walking down, there was a street near my street called Fitchett Street, which was where, like, it was just an accident, but they were like fucking some absolute god tier feral shit would just go on in that street. Yeah. So literally, I have never in my life been up the end of that street because it was just too fucking scary. Because there were just some absolute savage feral families, and every now and then a howling retard masturbating. And, like.
That's a premise.
Yeah, no, like
that's a premise for a Silent Hill zone,
but
right?
like, yeah, just like, and like, but like, fucking, you know. This happens. Like, you get hypersexuality in some of these.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, what do you do about that? You got to fucking put mittens on them and shit and, like, fucking slowly teach them not to do the thing that feels great all the time. I mean, it's hard enough for me not to just jack off constantly.
I know.
So it's like, if I was retarded, why would I not fucking stop?
It's such a primal instinct. Yeah. It's just, it is crazy. I do love hearing about that sort of stuff, like documentaries and stuff. It's just.
Yeah, to you it's a documentary.
Yeah, I know. To me, it's a documentary. Some dude, it's life. Like, I know.
Like, again, like, because, you know, I don't think about that particular thing much. And the second I did, I was just like, the wanking Todd. And then because I'm an adult, I'm like, oh, yeah, he was like just not watched. No, like, exactly. There was no like, oh, he's got like a fucking,
we should get him diagnosed and
like,
maybe help him get through life. No, it was just let him go.
Like, no, it's at the point where it's like a cage would be a step up, like just to keep him off the road. Like, and again, like this is what happens when you're in a fucking absolute fucking shit tier situation with people who can barely look after themselves, let alone their fucking frightening mongoloid special needs kid. And that, like, again, like for a child is such a confronting thing as this big wall-eyed fucking goon just with his dick out. And no one really,
as an adult, I would be scared.
no one really explains that shit to you. Because again, for the functional adults, it's depressing. Nobody wants to think about it. It's just don't go down there. And that was why I never got up the other end of Fitchett Street because there was like,
I love what's called Fidget Street. That is very
Fitchett.
funny.
I think it's like FITCHIT or some shit. But it was like, yeah, it was down the road from my house in fucking Goodna, and it was just. That was the scary street, you know, where like the angry children lived.
Street where the children masturbate on the sidewalks.
There was a girl that
One
lived.
turns around, but he's wearing goggles.
There was a
You've
girl-
entered the scary street.
Yeah, no, there was a girl that lived on that street called Gladys, and one time she was just sitting in the front yard eating a whole just tub of peanut butter with her hands, and one of the kids said that she was eating shit, and then like it just turned into this chant of like 14 kids from like the other streets just pointing at her and going, "Gladys eats poop," and she just didn't even react. She just didn't even care. She just sat there eating the peanut butter. That's another one of those memories that's just burned into my head. I wasn't actually chanting that time. I was. Oh no, I've been part of mean child chants. Don't get me wrong.
Same.
But like that particular one, I was just like, because again, that was Fitchett Street. I didn't fuck with Fitchett Street. I don't want to fucking, what happens if the retarded kid gets me? No one tells you that when you're a kid.
But like it's hard because as a kid, like it's easier to belong.
Oh yeah, no,
it is so easy to.
The hard rule is, and particularly for people who are victims of a lot of bullying, is they're always the first to pile on because it means you're not being bullied.
Exactly.
That's the first fucking thing. It's like, oh yeah, fuck yeah, point at that person. That means the points aren't at me. That's fun. I mean, it was mostly like there was some friends had a dog up the road, had a dog called, it was called Harley, but we all called it Humpy because it was unneutered and would try to rape you at the slightest provocation. So if any human got below, like, cause it was like a little fucking, one of those, it looked kind of like Pomeranian, but black. And so the game would just be like, you'd be walking in the backyard doing something, you'd just push somebody over in the hopes that the dog would run over and try to bum him. And that's just a thing you'd do. It's one of those things where in the cold light of adulthood, you're like, oh yeah, remember that time we like held someone down so Harley could fuck him? And it's like, yeah, that's like not penetrative. Like he's just humping the pants.
See, that's funny you should mention that because most of my childhood stories didn't involve rape. You see, so
it's dog rape. It's like a notch below the real. The real thing.
See, one of the memories that's burned into my skull is standing in front of my house with a tennis racket, whacking a rock as hard as I could over the house and just watching it sail off. And just waiting to hear for the crash.
Out in the middle of you just in the suburbs?
Yes.
I hope someone kicked your ass. Did you break a window?
No. That's the thing. That's because I hit it and just waited. I listened.
Silence.
Silence. The other thing that was burned into my brain was when our above ground pool split open. And flooded into the next door neighbours. The house that was down a flight. Their yard was lower than ours, so
so it must be stricken from the land.
Yeah, it was fun, but yeah, like
what was I fucking talking about? Oh yeah, I've been buying control pads, so I've got a nice collection now.
Fires,
yeah, no, I'm getting back onto my happy topics. I'm tired of thinking about neglected child rapists. Fucking, I don't even know how I got to that
as a child.
No, there was like the thing about I didn't do too much because it just wasn't necessary because there were just people around who'd do it for me, and that was good. But after a while, people started to figure on that I was more of a ringleader, or not a ringleader so much as a prodder. Like I'd suggest things, so parents started skipping their retarded kids, knowing that they were never smart enough to come up with whatever the fuck had happened, and it was clearly me standing like a meter behind, going, "Yeah, fucking, I bet you can light if you cover a rock with icicle and set it on fire. You could pick it up and throw it at the hornet's nest, and then there'd be a flaming rock flying at the hornet's nest, and that'd be cool. And yeah, that would be cool. Then the kid's kind of got a burnt hand and has been stung by 3 hornets. And then who gave you that idea? Because you're too stupid to fucking put 2 pieces of anything together. And it's like, oh, Gabe. And then gradually, that was around when I started learning that people would like treat me like I had some kind of like fucking higher level of sapience than the fucking subhumans that lived around, where it's like, oh yeah, no, Gary, you're obviously more responsible. It's like, why is that? Well, because these things don't look at them. Like just tink, 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 there's fucking nothing going on in there.
Look at them.
Yeah.
Just look at them.
So I bought like a fucking...
Just before you go on to that, I did make a kid eat ants. Many ants.
How'd you do that?
I told him to eat the ants.
So you didn't hold him down and
No, I didn't bully. I never bullied. I just said, hey, you should eat these ants. Why would I do that? They give you powers. Okay.
Well, that kid's just stupid. I mean, there's a fucking limit. Like,
Oh man.
I'm not gonna go to someone who's locked up for being like, insane and suicidal and going, hey, you should kill yourself because that's, that might work. But if I just tell some rando, go kill yourself, and they do, there's probably something else at play there. If you eat ants because you think that there's
it wasn't because
powers,
of powers. Like the reason do remember the reason now. It did come to me. I just made that shit up. Was they were the yellow butt ants. I said they were honey ants. I said they had honey. in them. This doesn't taste like honey.
yellow
I'm like,
butt ants
you've got
don't
to
have
eat
honey in
like
them,
10 or 20. Like it's
the honey kicks in.
because it's like a cumulative thing.
Yeah, have you ever eaten like a pinhead full of honey? It tastes like ass. It doesn't work until you just eat a lot of ant butt.
Yeah.
See, that's just funny. That's a good trick. It's like the time I fucking fed a kid some of my chapstick, and then even when he found out it was chapstick, he liked it and proceeded to eat the whole fucking thing.
We got a kid to eat saffron. Saffron is just orange powder that's used in cooking.
Yeah, it's a colorant, and it gives a little bit of light flavor.
Exactly.
It's supposed to be like flower stamens, so you can't like fucking harvest it with anything but like
teeth and gums were stained orange for like 3 days. So good. All right. Anyway, you bought a controller.
Oh yeah, okay. So like years ago, I bought like a fucking 8BitDo NES controller.
Right.
And that's really good. It's really cool. And then I bought a 8BitDo SNES controller, one with the Australian color scheme, like the red and yellow and the red, blue, and yellow fucking thing. And it's beautiful. It's really fucking good. And again, Bluetooth, so just a click. Oh yeah, it works. Off we go. And then like they were like, oh, we're releasing a fucking Mega Drive one, and I bought the Mega Drive one, and because these are all like fucking $20 through fucking, it was like $20 or $30 through fucking Amazon or some shit.
They're extremely cheap.
Yeah, like that's really good fucking value. And then I had 3 of them, and I'm like, I need a Bluetooth fucking Nintendo 64 one, but like that, no one seems to be working on that, which really bums me out. So I bought like a $20 cabled one off the internet, like a fucking Retrobit, I think, or something like that.
I want a
Retro
brawler.
Link, that's it.
I want a brawler. That's what I want.
No, see, for me, it had to be.
You want the 64 shape?
Yeah, I wanted a Nintendo 64 controller, not like a
Fair
that.
enough. I want the brawler. It is so nice.
Put it on the viewing window.
I will put it on the viewing window.
Yeah, people have to be able to see it, so I'm not just sitting here describing like a Nintendo 64 controller that looks like a.
So yeah, the brawler is like a high quality, like 64 controller that just with redesigned sort of.
Yeah, I didn't want these. It's about playing retro games with it for me.
It would be about comfort for me. So anyway, continue.
So I got one of those cabled, and then I got the 8BitDo PS1 controller mod, which for some weird reason to do with Australian PS1 controllers, there's 2 little extra bits of plastic in the way, so I had to Dremel that out. That was a fun addition to my afternoon. But that works. So now I got like a PS1 controller, so I can play my fucking PS1 games with the PS1 controller. And then I got at the moment though, like Sony are ball sacks. Like, oh, that's nice. Like the 8BitDo controllers are fucking fantastic. Like they do a really good fucking job. They're well designed, comfortable. They feel like, old school. Bluetooth works great. What the fuck? Go up. That thing has 2 buttons. Why is that?
It's finesse.
Yeah, but it's got thumbsticks.
Yeah, I don't understand the thumbsticks.
Like, oh yeah, it's got 2 buttons. Yeah, just like the NES. Yeah, and it's like fucking 2 thumbsticks.
Oh yes, I would like to know more about the stick.
Would you like to know more?
Oh, I guess you could play like platformers and other games with it.
I just feel like if you're gonna be so old school as to literally only put 2 face buttons on it,
Yeah, it's a bit odd.
like that's the thing that's the bit that's fucking boggling my
I
mind.
understand, yeah.
I mean, at the moment, I'd love because I had a system where I was putting a DualShock 3 controller and plugging it in to play PS2 games, but you have to use because Sony are fucking chodes about this. You have to fucking put SCP, like the Sony fucking controller toolkit, on your fucking computer to give you different drivers, and that completely fucked up my RetroArch controller sensor, because I use RetroArch for a lot of my emulation stuff now because it fucking just works. And you get bezels, which I like because I've got like a fucking 65-inch screen, so big fucking black bars on the side of my screen are big and fucking noticeable. And so we're spazzing that out. And so I was just like, all right, fuck it, fine, I'm going to get rid of it. I might try and get like a secondhand, like just a $30 fucking PS4 controller, because apparently those just Bluetooth up to the PC. But I haven't tested that yet. I want to have a fucking test and see if it doesn't fucking munt up the rest of my goddamn controllers. Because right now, everything plays nicely, with the exception... I mean, I wouldn't mind getting like a fucking Dreamcast controller just for shits and giggles, but a Dreamcast controller and a fucking Xbox One controller are basically the same controller.
Yeah.
Like the almost borderline identical, to the point where some Dreamcast emulators won't, if you just say you're using an Xbox One controller, it doesn't let you go into the mapping, because it's just like this, it's the same thing. There's just a stick and a fucking, one stick less, and I think like, 2 L&R buttons less. So what's the brawler, like what's the brawler advertised? It's for Smash players, like is that it? Or is it just... I mean, it is nice to see a fucking controller with 6 face buttons again. Because that was always one of my biggest issues with playing any kind of Nintendo 64 game with like just a, Xbox One controller. Was there are a lot of games that sort of expected to be able, kind of function around the idea of 6 face buttons and 6 face button combinations and things like that. So like you're left with this weird situation where you either have, X, Y, A, B be the fucking C buttons, and then A and B be like L, left button, right button, and then L and R be L and R. Well, then, then you got to deal with a Z button situation. Like, it was just always a really awkward fit. And as bummed as I am that the fucking, like, it's retro, like, I think it's like, was it Retro Link or Retro Bit or something? They did a cabled Nintendo 64 controller. It was on Amazon for like $20. Yeah, that's it. I think that's it. And it showed up in 2 days. And it works really well. You just plug it in, it's like, there you go. Yeah, I got mine through Amazon, so it was like, I don't know, only 20. I mean, again, I'd like it to be Bluetooth. I'd like it to have Rumble. But, we make up we make our peace with this. The other one I got recently was the Power A wireless GameCube controller, which is probably the most frustrating of the three. Because it's otherwise a really good, it looks and feels like a GameCube controller. It does a great job there. It is wireless. But it makes like these 3 choices that are kind of annoying. And I'll rate them from least to most annoying. They use batteries. So AAAs as opposed to like a charging thing.
Weird.
That's weird. Also, if that were the only thing, really wouldn't care. I'd still highly recommend it. I mean, I think for emulation purposes, it is novel. I've been playing the GameCube Wind Waker with the updated graphics pack and the widescreen hack and shit like that. And it looks fucking great. And it's really, really good. And it's fun to play with this because it defaults. Push A, it looks, it's exactly what it is. And it's fun. It takes me back. Except, okay, so it uses batteries. That's kind of annoying. It doesn't have Rumble. I'm not sure why. I don't know why. And you see how it has those L and R buttons there? Those aren't analog. There's no analog. And the thing is, it's not like they just took the analog out and made them clickers. They still have the analog descent.
So they still do press as analogs.
Yeah, they still press as analogs, but nothing registers until the very bottom click. Yeah, so it's not like it like switches immediately. So I know that the Switch doesn't have analog fucking things, but I just don't know why you made that series of choices. There is no benefit to having the sensation of analog if it's not analog. Just don't put it in.
Yeah.
Make a choice that makes fucking sense. Don't have, It is just really fucking, that is the one thing that really fucking spoils it for me. And just,
that's why
I almost took it back. I was like,
what have I got? I got the Wii U GameCube adapter. So I can just plug that into my PC and plug GameCube controls into it.
Well, I mean, a big thing for me was like, I want wireless because my computer's,
I have a Wavebird.
My computer's over there and I don't have a Wavebird.
I know. I feel sorry for you. I found that Wavebird too.
Where?
I think in a gutter.
Fuck off. I don't believe you.
Found like $200 in a gutter. I found a Wavebird.
God damn it. You can't bring that up. It's like,
I can.
Because you're not allowed to
because it wasn't in the
Because I can't say that finding $200 in a gutter makes more sense, but my brain is saying it makes more fucking sense than finding a Wavebird in working condition.
It was in bad condition.
Okay.
I had to replace some parts on it, but it's still
What suburb? Where were you?
I can't remember. This was a long time ago, dude. I think it was in
gotta
St.
burn.
Lucia because it was student housing. I think I found it somewhere. Yeah. Anyway,
I mean, I'm not paying for a fucking Wavebird. Like, I don't. In every other respect, it's a really good controller. And like Dolphin right now is I mean, it's still one of the best emulators out there. There was an AMA by the Dolphin guys on the emulation subreddit recently, actually. And it's fun hearing them talk about like,
cool.
yeah, well, I was like, I love hearing them talk about like, okay, what's the boss monster of emulation? Rogue Squadron 3. And just, yeah, hearing them go, okay, Factor 5 were part of the audio development for GameCube. So not only were they able, they were there designing the sound system for it, but they also knew exactly how the GameCube was being built from the fucking ground up. And so everything they do is bullshit sleight of hand wizardry that emulating is just a fucking prick to fucking, get to work around. But I mean, again, apart from that thing, like, I mean, if you're thinking of buying it yourself, really think about that fact. Because apparently for Smash Brothers players, it's annoying and pointless because you've got a longer time between tapping the button and getting the fucking shield up, which is fair play. Like
also like, aren't like wide controls just standard for Cube? Smash Bros? I don't know.
I don't fucking know.
But yeah, I don't know. I'd always prefer to use a wide control when it comes to competitive anyway.
I'm not talking about competitive. I'm just like, see, it says preferred gamepad for Smash Brothers Ultimate.
Yeah, that's just like, because it's a GameCube shape. I hate the GameCube shape. Like for Smash Brothers, like I think it's way too small. Like because it's a game where you grip the shit out of your controller depending how you play. Yeah, and exactly.
You grip the shit out of your 16-year-old rent boy.
I'd much prefer to play on a pro controller. Just nice and
I'd accidentally developed a fucking large collection of retro gamepads that I've been using for my fucking emulation. And I was just, because I didn't sit there and go, hey, it'd be fun to have a fucking, actual accurate, because the fucking 8-bit though M30, the fucking, Mega Drive version has like an L&R button as well. So it's like 6 face buttons and the classic fucking Mega Drive Sega CD. So that covers everything from Mega Drive, 32X, Sega CD. But because it's got the L&R controllers, that also means you've got Saturn games covered. I mean, you'd need eventually the fucking Saturn circle pad. Look that up. Bring that up into the fucking viewing window, the circle pad that people can squint to fucking see. I don't know. I don't think this is the best.
Oh, it's not for viewing. It's just for the novelty of the box.
Yeah, so that
it's so
came out.
stupid.
It's like you can see how it turned into the Dreamcast
Imagine
controller.
someone putting pins on a Walkman and then some buttons.
Pancake with buttons, yeah.
Like, fucking hell. That was a baffling choice.
That was a beefy boy. It's so round. Like, I
have such a soft spot for
So
the
round.
Mega Drive controllers.
That's honestly that's why I really love the fucking M30. It's such a good fucking controller. It feels great, and it's got that design down. And so I've been playing like Sega CD games again, like the 4 or 5 actually really good ones that are worth playing. And there's actually even a few Sega Saturn games that are really good. But I think some of the better ones got ports to other consoles. Like Guardian Heroes is great, but like I think it's even wound up being ported to fucking Game Boy Advance of all things. But yeah, so it's basically that fucking shape. Like it's more Mega Drive-y than anything else. It's not as...
I am controls with little triggers.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, because you had like fucking...
Programmable.
Yeah, well, auto fire was pretty much it.
Auto and turbo fire switches.
Going through the fucking fiddly nightmare of getting all my games to work and getting them to play. Because it's something I noticed when I got the arcade cabinet was I was actually sitting and playing games. Because one of the things I've been trying to do is actually fill my time with stuff. Because I caught myself doing that thing again where I'll just stare at the internet, just clicking on random pointless crap, rather than doing literally anything else. And I mean, honestly, even sitting down and watching a movie or playing a video game is a better use of your fucking time than just clicking around the goddamn internet. And, like sitting down, I've played through the fucking almost all of Popful Mail now, which is a fun game. The Western version fucked with the damage for enemies, though, for some weird reason. So while it's in English with the full English voice acting, you get maybe 3 hits and then die, which the game is not really designed around.
Because fuck you.
Yeah. So I've been save scumming. Apparently there's a fucking edit, like a fucking ISO edit of it, though, like a hack that fixes the fucking damage system back. But I didn't find out about that until I was halfway through the game anyway. So... I've been doing okay. I've been doing remarkably well, all things considered. It's a lot of fun. Snatcher, if you want some, Hideo Kojima, he was a little more coherent. I am looking forward to whatever the fuck Death Stranding is going to be. I'm upset that I can't get Norman Reedus to piss into his own mouth.
What?
Well, there's urination mechanics in Death Stranding.
So I literally know nothing about it. I don't give.
I envy you in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, like, I find him interesting because you know, it's weird because Kojima's a huge fan of a lot of movie, you know, filmmakers that I'm a big fan of. Like, he's constantly going on about like fucking things like Twin Peaks and David Lynch and shit, and you can see it really. But I still maintain that he's like not got a. He's kind of missed the fact that Lynch has a core of actual sense-making shit going on in his fucking films. You just have to get past his weird fucking cinematic styles.
Right.
Whereas Kojima's just like all the fucking weird shit, but like with that weird Japanese thing of none of this has to make sense because it's not supposed to, which bugs the holy hell out of me. I mean, I don't know. I don't think it'll be boring. I think that's the worst thing it could be is be boring.
It is yet?
I don't know. You walk around with a baby in a tub and the baby goo protects you from ghosts.
But no, what sort of gameplay is it? Do we know
Third
that?
person. I don't know. It looks action adventure. Okay. It's third person action. Like, I don't know how much action is going to be in it, but you know,
because that's the whole thing. Is like I don't want to put any time or energy into it till I know it's an actual product and a thing. Like,
because it's hard working out it's hard to figure out whether or not you even like Kojima based on his games. Because it's hard to fucking find out how much he had, over it. Like I still consider fucking what is it?
Snake Eater?
Yeah, Snake Eater. Snake Eater is a great game. I think it's a great combination of some of the goofier parts of like Metal Gear with some of the more serious parts, and I think they actually managed to strike a reasonable tonal balance. I mean, with the exception of young Revolver Ocelot, which
meow.
I know. Why is that in there? Like, how do you see that and go, fuck yeah? Like, that's badass.
Lots of drugs.
Because it doesn't, like, the thing is that it's not even presenting him like that's supposed to be goofy. It's just there. And, you know, again, you got to think about how you're presenting these things. Is it meant to be seen as silly by the other people in the fucking, you know, the diegesis? Or what? Like, what's going on? I'm a kitty with guns.
It's, yeah.
Struggle figuring that man out. And I just feel like at the end of it, there's not going to be anything, you know, imagine like just fucking trying to crack a safe for ages and you open it up and there's just nothing in there. Like that's
pretty much Breath of the Wild, dude. I spent the whole time cracking the safe and there was nothing there.
Whole time cracking the safe.
Just Ganon naked dancing. Actually, I would be happy with that.
Yeah, if I cracked a safe and it were just like fucking, you know, boudoir photos of Ganon. He strikes me as like, human Ganon strikes me as the kind of guy who'd have some fucking muscle shots, you know.
Yeah.
Like
he hangs dong.
I know, absolutely. Like, without a doubt. I don't think there's anybody out there. If you ask anybody, you can ask people who don't even play video games, hey, how big do you think Ganon's dick is? It's like, that dude's packing some power.
That was always the bit that got me in that one episode of fucking It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia on Thunder Gun Express. Everyone was excited to see his dick. I was like, what?
Well, there was that fucking big wave. You know, and I blame Jason Segel for it mostly because he's excited to get his dick out in every movie that he's fucking in. Like, I've seen his dick so much. And don't get me wrong, flaccid dick, comedy gold. Watching a flaccid dick slap between two legs, that's funny. Like, that's good. But, like, there was just, after someone got away with just putting hog on the fucking film, like, it was just like, oh, fuck yeah, dicks.
Dicks.
But it's all like, it was all comedy dicks. So that's the problem, is you can't just have, can't have a fucking erection.
You can't just have, like, a sexualized penis just thrust out.
Well, I mean, you can, but that's a bold step. Because again, if there's a dude running toward me naked, but he's flaccid, I might have to fight a naked guy, but it's still pretty funny. Like, I'm not that worried. Saying, if there's a guy rushing me with a fucking boner,
we should break some new ground. It's like, you know, shape of water, shape of dugong.
Look. Because I looked up Ash Crimson again the other day, and like literally the second thing in the Google suggested fucking results when you click on image search and it has all the extra fucking categories that get frequently used.
Yeah.
The second one is Ash Crimson cute. And it's like, oh yeah. And there's like Ash Crimson as a cat and stuff like that. And it's like, you've already masturbated to Ash Crimson. So I just don't believe you. I don't believe you'd fuck a dugong over Ash Crimson. I think that's a lie. I think you're just fucking with me at this point. Like, because a dugong looks like a wet sack full of human shit. And Ash Crimson is a guy, but it's like...
feel pretty good, though. Just saying. A lot of porpoise. So it's like blubber. You just like grip and like...
Yeah.
You're forced, you know? Why? It feels like a fleshlight.
I'm sure twink butts can crank down hard.
All I'm saying is you're always talking about the twinks.
Yeah, because like that's where I go before dugong. Like,
well, some people were just born to dugong. All right,
do the dew.
I can't help it. I was born this way, and I will not have you dugong shame me.
No, I'm not. I'm trying to dugong splain it to myself. Like I'm trying to. It's for my own, edification. It was just weird. Like I was like, okay, you'd fuck a dugong. I wouldn't. There's no level of horny for me